Hey everybody, welcome to The Kitchen Noob, the show where I make recipes from food blogs, cookbooks, and from my favorite celebrity chefs. Now, I have no formal training as a chef, and I have no professional experience as a chef. So what I do have is a passion for cooking and years of experience cooking in my own kitchen. Now today we're gonna do another recipe from Ramsay in 10. Today we're doing a beef stir fry. It's ground beef stir fry. I've never used ground beef in a stir fry before. If you're interested in the book, I'll put a link down below. He does have a YouTube channel where he tries to do his videos in 10 minutes or less. They're really quite amusing and they're fun to watch, so I'll link to that below too. But let's get started making our stir fry. Come on into my kitchen, let's go cook. Before we get started, please subscribe to the YouTube channel, The Kitchen Noob. If you have already subscribed, thank you very much. Please be sure to share this with all of your friends and family on any social media you prefer. And let's go get started cooking some beef stir fry. Okay, so first let's go over our ingredients. I'm gonna go through this a little bit faster than last time because I think my video ran a little too long last time, so we're just gonna move through this here. We've got our ginger here. We're gonna use 2 of these cubes. This is a convenient little thing. We've got a yellow and a red pepper. I just quartered it and then sliced it the long way. Kind of make thick slices. Something a little substantial so it'll hold up to the heat. You can use fish sauce. I'm gonna use mirin. We're gonna try that today. This is 2 tablespoons. This is a tablespoon of soy sauce. Here's our snow peas, and just dice them the long way. Not dice them, slice them the long way. I also cut the little ends off of them because I don't really like that. This is a red chili. It's very hot. We're going hot tonight, so we'll see how that turns out. 2 mushrooms. These are very large mushrooms. I bought some organic ones and they're delicious. These are cremini mushrooms, baby bellas. I got 2 cloves of garlic. The recipe calls for 1. I like garlic, so we're gonna do 2. For our fried rice, I've got 2 cups of rice measured out. We're gonna add some cilantro to it. We're gonna add some green onions to it. We might throw some of this into the stir fry too because this is a lot here. Also, we're gonna need some eggs. We'll have that later. We're gonna fry some eggs into that and stir it up. What this is, I made this rice this morning and it's been in the fridge all day. So this is just cold rice pre-prepared, yeah. We've got ground beef. This is lean ground beef. This is like 93% lean ground beef. This is a whole pound. The recipe calls for a half. We're doing a double batch tonight because we're going to eat this for the rest of the week. And lastly, we have our bok choy. This is a new ingredient for me. Yeah, I've never had it. I've never prepared it. I'm going to go based on what I saw off of YouTube. And I'm going to show you how to do this. So this is a first for me too, so this is cool. What I saw was they only had this much of it. This part, I'm sure you can eat this all the way down. I think I read somewhere that all of this is edible, as opposed to some other cabbages like escarole, I think. And then we take the leaves. I think that we need to cut some of these leaves off of here. Some of these stems don't look so good either. I think this is not bok choy season, maybe. Springtime is bok choy season. Now we're gonna take the leaves primarily. That's what we want. And we're gonna chiffonade the leaves. We can take a little bit of the stems. And we're gonna want some of that because I think it's good fiber and adds a little crunch to our stir fry that we're doing. So we'll leave the good stems over here. Let's take our leaves. I washed this too, so don't worry, I washed it. There's no manure on it. Take a big leaf, roll up the little leaves in to the big leaves, and slice. I'm left-handed, so this might look a little crazy to you. And just so we don't have long strands of green, I'm just gonna slice it this way a couple times. What? What? You don't want stringy strands of green in your stir fry, do you? Jen's making a face at me.
This is my fault.
No, you were making a face. One more time. We got some more leaves here. Doesn't have to be perfect, right? Just having fun. Yes, I'm watching my fingers.
It's really quite chaotic.
There we go. And then let's get a little bit of stem in here, just for some crunchy. I know it looks dangerous, doesn't it? All right, that's good enough. I think we'll save that for something else maybe if we like this. That's a good bit. I think that'll wilt down too as we cook it. That goes into the bin. And we're ready to start cooking. We'll see you over at the stove. Go with the beef stir fry. So we've got our ground beef broken up already. We're gonna add a little bit of oil to our preheated pan. We're gonna just go to medium heat right now. Not too hot. Don't wanna scorch our pan. And to Jen's request, she wants to go less oil this time. So I've got enough meat here for 2 batches. We're just gonna make 1 batch right now. Divide them about like half. That's good. I'm gonna put this aside. All right. Next, we're gonna add our red chili pepper. It's gonna add some nice heat. Let's get this stirred up a little bit. What I might do too is I made the red chili some nice chunks. So if it's, I'm very sensitive to heat. So if it's too hot, I won't eat the chunks, but I'll still enjoy the heat. Got our garlic going in. And we've got our ginger going in. And for this, we have a little layer of plastic, and these are frozen, which is fine. They're kind of hard to get out sometimes. Some of them are more cooperative than others. There we go. That's like one cubic inch of ginger. And we're just gonna stir it up. We want the meat to brown. We want it to be nice and crispy. Part of the reason why I use a lean ground beef for this is if you use a 20/80, like a ground chuck or a fatty ground beef, you tend to get a lot of grease on the bottom, and the ground beef doesn't brown, it more like steams, which it's not a bad thing if that's what you're going for, but I want a nice crispy ground beef. Some browning on it so there's some flavor on it. We can turn our pan up just a little bit. Don't want to go too high in this kind of pan because the heat will bounce back and the pan will recover and hold heat. So we're just going to let this cook for a few minutes while it browns. And here you hear that sound? Pan is getting dry. And we're starting to get that browning effect on the outside of the beef, which is what we want. We kind of want that on the peppers too, and the garlic a little. We want some browning. Just a couple more minutes on this. You can hear that sizzling. You can hear it getting crispy. That's what we want. Sometimes you just gotta stop stirring and leave your beef alone. If you look, when I flip it over, it's got a nice dark color on it. I don't know if the camera's picking that up or not, but
Not really.
it's starting to get for lack of a better word, caramelization. It's not caramelization because I'm not cooking sugar, but it is browning. The meat is browning. You can hear it. There's a piece. Look at that piece right there. See right there? That one. Can you see it? There we go. Now we're going to take this and we're going to put it into, he says to use a plate. I don't really have a nice plate. I have a nice bowl.
I wonder if he uses a plate so that it doesn't continue to cook on top of itself.
I think that's what it is, maybe, so that
Well, we could have gotten you a plate.
Okay, so we've got our ground beef done. I did 2 batches and just mixed it together, just because we're doing a double batch of this tonight. Next in is our peppers. We put the peppers in before we put oil in. I don't know why, we just do. Pan is heated again. It's recovered. It's on medium. It's on exactly medium. And I do like that sound.
Sorry.
That's sizzling. Okay. And then I'm going to throw in just a few onions too. Just because I want that. Just a little. There we go. And I cut them nice and big chunks. I want to taste the onion. We're gonna oil this a little bit, just a slight little tiny drizzle. Yeah, Jen's still like easy on the oil, so we'll respect that. That's good. She even went as far as buying me one of those little oil decanters or whatever they're called. I don't know what they're called. We're gonna salt this. That looks like a lot, but it's not. And we're just gonna stir this up a little. Let this cook 1 or 2 minutes. Okay, so our peppers are nice and brown. They're getting soft. The next thing we're going to put in is our pea pods. Stir those in. I'm going to let that cook for a few minutes. I think we don't want to see as much browning on the peas, but we do want them to be soft. So maybe just about 30 more seconds on those. Let that heat really soak in there. I'm going to add our bok choy next. And I made a mistake just now. We have our bok choy. We're supposed to put our stems in first because they're a little more rough, and then we put the leaves in. But I mean, this is like 80% leaves anyway, so I guess we're not worried about it too much.
Bok choy?
Oh yeah, next we're going to do bok choy. I was about to go in with mushrooms. All right, bok choy. This is a lot of bok choy.
It is. Maybe don't use all of it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to use all of
Don't.
it.
It's a new vegetable for us.
Yeah, let's just use that because we don't even know if we like it.
Yeah, what if it's terrible?
Doesn't taste like anything. It's like, it's cabbage. It's got a green flavor to it. It's it's got water in it. Oh, yeah. Okay. It tastes like something, like Napa cabbage, kind of. Maybe a little milder than Napa. A little milder than Napa cabbage. We'll give this about 30 seconds to get in there. I'm making sure my stem pieces are really in there. Yeah, it's got an earthy flavor to it. Earthy and green. It's nice. I like it. That piece didn't get cut up. There. Oh, all better. Next, mushrooms. I want to eat one. They're so good. I bought organic ones. I mentioned that earlier. Organic mushrooms. Baby Bella's creminis. They have a texture to them. They're really chewy. They have a chew. We're going to let the mushrooms get soft. In the meantime, to help that along, we're going to add our soy sauce. We're going to add our mirin.
Oops, sorry.
Now, here's the deal with it. This might actually fire up on me because this is alcohol. If I don't have eyebrows tomorrow, that's why. So here's the thing. It's supposed to be fish sauce, but I tried to make something with fish sauce one time, and it's no longer allowed in this household, as per Jen. I blame you for everything.
So nice of you. You're so thoughtful.
No, my train of thought was okay. So it stank. It stank up the house. It was horrible. It smelled like what did it smell like? It smelled like low tide. Yeah, low tide.
Lily and I ran out front.
Yeah, we had to open
outside,
all the
and we were dry heaving on the porch.
Dry heaving. Anyway,
that's how bad that was.
So my train of thought was maybe because I bought the generic store brand of fish sauce because I didn't know, like maybe the higher quality, more expensive fish sauces are better. So Jen will not afford me that opportunity to try. I've seen Gordon Ramsay use it religiously on his dishes, and no one in his house seems to mind, but they eat stuff like fish stew over there, so I think they're used to it. They're an island country, so they're more seafood oriented. Maybe they're more immune to it. We don't eat a lot of seafood here, so, well, at least not, I don't. We don't. So, ooh, these are nice. This is nice. This is shaping up very nicely. Mushrooms are soft. Let's not overcook this. So I've got a landing plate over here. We're going to separate this. We're going to do our rice next. Here's my landing plate. It's this beautiful pie plate. You might recognize from my pumpkin pie video. So we're going to land this separate from the meat. We're going to combine it all in a few minutes. But right now, we're going to make. Okay, here we go. We're going to put a little oil in the pan. We're doing our fried rice now. Little oil. I think I was supposed to whisk this, but I'm just going to drop it in and do it there.
That's what he did, didn't he?
I think he had it in a bowl, and he just dropped the whole thing in. He had it
He did whisk it.
Pre-whisked.
He did.
But we're not doing that, so I do this every morning. We're going to turn it up just a little bit. Got to work quickly.
Are you going to do 2 eggs?
Just one. We're going to do 2 batches of just like this.
Oh, okay.
So instead of letting that go, we're going to just mix it up a little bit. It does smell good. I do like the smell of that mirin. There we go. That's enough egg. And then in with our rice. There we go. That's 2 cups, by the way. We're gonna mix that in. Get that egg incorporated into there. Green onions, a little bit. In. We'll save some for the next batch. And we've got some cilantro. We'll go light on that. Mm-hmm. I'm a big fan of it, Jen's.
I do like it, but woof.
Not a big fan of it, so. Yep, there I go again. We'll spread this out, let it cook for a minute, and then we'll flip it around a little and let it brown on the other side. Just stirring up the rice a little bit. I want this to be nice and crispy. I'm guessing that to flavor this a little bit too, you could probably put a little sesame oil in there. Might add a little nuttiness to it, a little nuttiness flavor.
I wouldn't.
I do like sesame oil.
I do too.
Okay, so this has been cooking about a minute and a half or so. My eggs are starting to brown a little. It's starting to dry out. I'm sure the rice is cooked through. It's definitely broken up. I have flipped it a little bit. I've been stirring as we go. So what we do now, remember this is 2 batches, so this is our first batch of rice. We're gonna take half of this and combine it back into the pan. Ooh, look at all those nice juices. That looks good. Okay, and we're gonna take half of our meat, put it back in the pan. So now, it's funny, in the cookbook, it doesn't really show how to finalize this dish. In his video, he mixes everything together and just pours it all on plates. Mm-hmm. But in the book, it doesn't say how to finalize this dish. So I would imagine if you want the rice separate, you can make the rice separate. If you want it all mixed together, you can do that. You can just do whatever you want to. I think that's the beauty of stir fry too, is really you can add any ingredients you want to in here. If you want to add red onion, add red onion. If you want to add a hotter pepper, add a hotter pepper. Go for it. Stir fry is versatile. You can do anything you want to with it. You can use ground turkey, ground lamb if you like that, ground pork if you like that. This looks pretty good. It's colorful. Mm-hmm. I like it. Mm-hmm. Looks like it's going to be delicious. So let's plate this up. Throw it right in there. Oh, man. I'm spilling it everywhere. It's kind of a wide-rimmed pan, isn't it? Mm-hmm. again.
Maybe a spoon would have been better.
Maybe. A little messy. And I would imagine too that if this is dry, you can add a little soy sauce to it. Or a little tamari. Some mirin.
Okay.
There. That looks pretty good. A little messy. There we go. All right. There we have it. Clean those plates up and they're good to go. One more time. We're going to do this one more time. Do you want to film it or no?
Mm-mm.
No, you don't want to film it?
Mm-mm.
Okay. But now I'm tired of this shit.
I am done. Camera lady's taking off.
Spent. Okay. I've got to taste it, right? I've got to taste it. Let's have it. Okay. It's hot. The steam. Bland. No, I'm just kidding. There's some heat there, but not what I was expecting. It's I give it a nice 3 out of 10 heat wise. It's savory. It's very beefy and ricey. There's a nice tang to it from the soy sauce and some mirin. It's got that umami flavor to it. Could use a little salt just to bring it up a little bit, but I do like the peppers in it. I do like the cabbage, the bok choy adds a little crunch to it, which I like. The peppers add a little sweetness and a little tartness to it, adds a little texture to kind of break up the rice and the meat. It's good. I like it. The pea pods are good too. They're nice and crunchy. So yeah, give this a shot and have fun with some stir fry. So tonight's recipe turned out pretty good. My only complaint was it ended up a little bit dry. I think that's part of, well, there's about 3 different factors here. There was the rice that I used. I used a basmati rice. It's kind of got a very corn-like flavor, or I think of like cooked black olives. Like if you get black olives on a pizza, they lose their brininess and they have kind of like that, I don't know how to describe it, like almost like a grain-like flavor when they're done, or when they're cooked. The rice wasn't dry, it wasn't overcooked, nothing like that, but I think it soaked up a lot of the moisture. Factor number 2, there wasn't a lot of sauce. Usually when you make a stir fry, you kind of slather it or drown it in some kind of sauce, like a teriyaki sauce, something like that. But this wasn't the case with this one. We just used like a tablespoon of soy sauce and a couple tablespoons of like fish sauce or mirin is what I used. And it was very dry going in. There wasn't a whole lot of sauce on the bottom of the skillet when I was done making the stir fry. So the rice soaked up all of that, leaving the stir fry dish very dry when I mixed it all together. The third factor is I think I used maybe too lean of a ground beef. I used a 93.7. Maybe go for like an 85-15, like a ground chuck. You want a little bit more moisture maybe. A lot of the juice when you're cooking or when you're browning ground beef, a lot of that juice is not so much fat. A lot of it's water content, and you really want to cook that water out of it. So I think I had the right idea, but I think I chopped it up too small. I chopped it up too fine, so it was just little crumbs of browned bits, and it ended up being very chewy when I was eating it. So when you mince your ground beef or maybe get a coarse grind, don't chop it up so fine. Maybe leave it in like bigger chunks, almost like not quite meatball size, you know. But that'll make it nice and crispy on the outside, and that's what you want, is you want that brown crispy outside, but it'll leave it nice and tender and moist on the inside, so you're not chewing on little meaty bits. So other than that, yeah, it turned out really good. There wasn't a lot of heat. It was very flavorful. The heat was there. I could, you know, as you're eating it, it was hitting, but it wasn't so overpowering that it was ruining the dish or anything. I like that, just enough to give it a little punch. The veggies were nice and crunchy. The peppers were nice and tart and sweet. Altogether, great dish. I can't wait to make it again. It was easy to put together and it was easy to cook, and can't wait to make it more in the future. So before we go, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. If you have already subscribed, thank you very much. Please share this with all your friends and family on any social media you prefer. I thank you for watching. We'll see you next time, and I hope you had fun.